All right, guys, we are live. RGN Intercontinental. We're in the North American division here. We've got a best of one. It's going to be DwG versus Aftershock, and we've got Nuke on the schedule. So that's going to be interesting. Obviously, starting off with a knife round, and I am sprawled by my side is Bach. We have talked a lot about how we feel about knife rounds on Nuke, haven't we?
Yeah, I mean, basically, there's just so much put on it, and you can see right now that Aftershock looks very good. They're going to pick up that knife round, which means they're actually going to get... Is that Aftershock? Yes, it is. The names at the top are actually backwards, so Aftershock gets their side selection here, and they're going to opt to keep the CT side. I personally have this major stick up my butt when it comes to Nuke. I don't think that Nuke belongs in the competitive rotation at all. I think that the map is heavily one-sided, and it's ironic that people complained about Cobblestone and Overpass and Train for being too CT-sided and they needed them out of the rotation, yet Nuke has been here all along. You know, you see a healthy D side of 5 rounds, or, you know, a 12-3 is standard. I just think that this map just needs to be changed, needs a rework. So yeah, that knife round, there's just so much on it. There's so much pressure for a knife round, not like any other map in Counter-Strike right now.
And we're going to see how this works out. Aftershock, they faced off against Dismay on this exact map, and probably a performance that they want to forget about coming into this map, as there was a lot of T-side rounds. And definitely Dismay, very good team on this map, and they had a stand-in in Fugly from Liquid. So we'll see what happens here. Pistol round is live, and we've got a number of terrorists just working right into lobby. So already it's looking like maybe a bit of a picks play. We do see, yeah, they're just going to be utilizing some utility here. Yeah, it's going to be a ramp room push possibly, but Skillet's going to be holding from there. He's just firing a couple shots. They're just waiting for the smoke to dissipate and some aggression maybe from the CT side. One of the big issues, though, they haven't put a single player outside, so already a CT coming around. They have smoked into upper, though, and Todor is going to get one onto Fobless. So that's going to be a nice opening for the CT side. Carbon Main's down to 50 as well, and they're going to push the issue near ramp room. Skillet with one will get traded upon, and Samo now from ramp room. Oh, Smelly drops him with a sick shot. And it's only Carbon and Fabian left on the map.
Yeah, it looked like basically Aftershock sniffed this play out. They tried to smoke and go down vents, and it just didn't happen. The smoke didn't cover enough. Fabian is going to pick up one and make it a 3v2, but Carbon down to 34 HP. Fabian at 67. They have a smoke and a grenade, a P250 on Carbon. Fabian's going to come around the corner and spot out Smelly, goes for that Glock spray, takes him down to 48 HP. Looks like they're going to be executing towards the lower bomb site right now, but Tudor is already lower, over towards the double doors here. He's pushing up towards control room, and there we go. Here's the peak. Popping open those doors, taking down both players, Carbon Mate and Fabian, both down. And that's going to be the first round for Aftershock. And you likely heard my co-caster sneezing, my 1-year-old son, Henry, who's decided that sleep is completely optional.
Totally is. Sleep is for the weak, right? But we're going to have Aftershock picking up the pistol round, and that's a great win for them, as definitely on that T side, the most even round you're going to have is that pistol round on this map. So now with the guns on the CT side, things are not easy at all. And they're opting to go for a Tech 9 play here, armor and all, so hoping that there's some SMGs on that CT side. And they're actually correct in thinking so. We've got Skillet with one, and it's going to be Asim with one as well here, so he's got a UMP in hand, but there is going to be a lot of action outside here, and Toto gets dropped immediately. So does Asim, and this is a great situation as they're rotating into hell.
And this is the Tech 9. I mean, in a bubble right now, the Tech 9, just way too strong, way too good at close range. It's kind of stupid, honestly. We're going to see Skillet pick up the first frag for Aftershock there, taking down Carbon Main with that MP7, but not able to get another one. Samo takes him out with the Tech 9. Smelly peeking, gets one, traded out almost immediately, and now it's on Drone here. A 1v3. They were able to pick up some guns there, and Robbie doesn't even need it. He's just going to use the Tech 9 to take him down. So there we have it. The Tech 9, still broken, still stupid.
You can tell just every time we cast and see that over and over, just get more and more sick of it. It was like, I'm just not even casting this round. I'm just they're just gonna win, and I'm gonna say nothing about it. So yeah, it's definitely something that needs a little bit of work here, as DwG, they pick up a round where they went outside with things, and it ended up working out really well, as again we had 2 SMGs on the CT side, but even the players with rifles had a very difficult time once You have that kind of contact rush. So many T players with Tech 9s. It's just a really rough look. So now we've got DwG with 1 round on the board and Aftershock. That is a scary situation as Fabulous, he's going to get a frag onto Todor. So again, Fabulous, one of the players that if he goes off, definitely DwG has a great chance of winning this map. So it is a best of 1. No time for warming up here. It is just the single map and 1-1 scoreline. Only 1 player down right now, Todor, that was outside. We can see that not a lot of action developing quite yet here.
And someone actually in chat just said how to get drunk. Take a shot every time somebody calls the Tech 9 stupid. You guys would get drunk by like round 5.
Yep.
And then you'd probably be in the hospital by the end of the first half. So I don't advise playing that game because I think that every person in esports right now that's involved with Counter-Strike can admit that that guy is broken. We're going to see Carbon Main using the P90 to take down Asum. Makes it a 5v3 right now. Smelly, Drone, and Skillet. And as I say that, Smelly and Drone gunned down by Fabian and Fabulous. So now it's on Skillet. He's got a P250 over towards Secret right now. It's a 1v5. And most of the players on this T side are actually pretty good on health. He's going to get rushed here by Salmo with the Tech 9, and that's going to be another frag on that pistol. So DwG, after winning that eco round in round 2, pick up another one. So moving into round number 4, the money on the CT side of Aftershock is still heavily broken. They're going to have to do a bit of a force buy pistol here. It looks like they're gonna, I mean, it's an eco, but they're picking up some armor. I don't necessarily think this is the best play. I think that they should just stick with the pistols and wait till next round to buy up, try to get that op on outside if they can. But it looks like it's probably going to be 3-1 unless Aftershock can pull off the eco here.
Yeah, and DwG, they're getting that flawless round. That does wonders for their economy. They want to build themselves up to a point where if they lose a round, they can buy again and just continue to ruin the CT's economy. But Smelly gets 1 with the CZ75 as he's posted up right underneath Twinkie here. And actually 3 frags across the board. Make it 4 as Asum goes down. Skillet now alive in a 1v4, and we can see why we're kind of advising that purchasing here wasn't the best play, and they only get Fabulous with that CZ75. On top of that, it's a CZ75. You get $100 for it, so it is a little bit of an economy-crushing move here. Skillet, again, last one alive in a 1v5. He's got a P250 in armor. He's going to be working around outside here, hoping to be able to maybe get a rifle, but what did they do with Fabulous's rifle? I imagine they got rid of it. Yeah, I'm taking a look around here. I do not see it anywhere, so they picked it up and/or hucked it over the fence, and that's a heads-up play as now Skillet, he's left wandering around, hoping that there's some hidden treasure out here, and it's not going to be the case, so I think he will just hang on to this armor, but DwG moving up to 3 rounds, and they only lose 1 in this round. Again, their economy is going to be soaring.
And if you look at the money on Aftershock right now, Tudor is only going to have $3,900 bucks, so he's not going to be able to buy an M4 in this round and full armor. I mean, it's not the end of the world because the body armor obviously is perfectly fine against an AK, and you are going to see him pick that up, but that's why I don't think that last buy with the armor was a wise play. They should have just stuck with light pistols, maybe even just gone with, you know, the default pistols, because they're facing up against AKs. It's a really hard battle. They'd be better off just saving their money and sticking with the USPs. DwG takes the round and a lot of money off the side of Aftershock. They're going to pick up an AWP and put it on Asum, but no armor, so he's going for that glass cannon, and no kits. Now, I know this is Nuke where you don't really see the bomb planted all that much, but that could come into play here as round 5 is underway.
Yeah, they've got a lot of smokes raining out in yard, rendering Asum pretty much useless, but Todor, they're coming up from Secret, will drop Robbie. So that's a nice pick here, and Aftershock definitely, they need to stop the bleeding. They need to pick up this round. They want a chance on this CT side as 3 rounds already. It's a beautiful spot, 5 rounds in for DwG, so we've got a player out at Redbox, T-Redbox, and he's going to try and take the head off of, I believe that was Todor still down in Secret. Fabulous, though, picks off the Opper and Asum. And Asum right now is at 0 frags. Same with Drone. You're going to need to wake up here if Aftershock wants to take this map. And Todor still aggressive, but will get smoked off and fall back into Secret. So 40 seconds left on the clock here. We're seeing a 4v4 develop, but Fabulous has made his way all the way over to hell.
I'm guessing that, you know, a lot of people base the odds for this game off of the fact that Aftershock played Dismay, a very good team on Nuke. Obviously, Aftershock got obliterated on Nuke that game. And that's not necessarily entirely their fault, but if this score continues, maybe Aftershock just really isn't prepared for Nuke. We're going to see Drone get one as they come out of Hut. He gets straight out immediately. Tutor's going to take one down as well, but Fobla's up in heaven, takes down Tutor and Smelly, makes it a 2v1 right now. Skillet rotating in from lobby right now, coming in through the Hut. Looks like he's going to try and jump out the window. Molly's going to rain out over towards Vent. He goes for the peek, and Foblis cleans his head off with a nice little flick of the wrist. That's going to be the 4K for Foblis right now. A big round from him. And that's now round number 4 for DwG. And they're already at what I'd say bare minimum. 3 rounds is bare minimum, really, on the T side of Nuke. So picking up 4, if they can get 5, 6, 7, anything above this, it's icing on the cake. DwG already at 4 rounds in round 6. Aftershock's got to be shaking their heads just a little bit, wondering what's going on, especially now that they're on an eco yet again.
Yeah, I'd be dancing right now if I was DwG. Up 4 rounds, round number 6, and only 1 on the field, or 1 on the map right now for Aftershock, and they're on an eco as well, so this should be a 5th round for DwG. This is just a rough situation for the CT side. Drone's gonna get dropped as he's holding right outside of Hut, and that's gonna start things off. Salmo will get dropped here as Todor gets aggressive outside. He's taking matters into his own hand, but the problem is that rifle he dropped up on Mini. But we do see a lot of frags going in at the ramp room. Smelly gets 1, but that's not going to be enough here as Todor ace him. The last one's on the field. And again, those CZ75 kills, they only give you $100. So although you are taking money out of the other team's pocket, at this point the economy for the teams are pretty damn good. And like we had said, their round count is pretty damn good as well. So Robbie's going to take down Todor, ace him in a 1v3 where he's got 2 players very lit. But Fabian is the one he has to look out for, and Fabian tears his head off. So 5th round for DwG, looking really good in this best of 1.
And you can kind of see what we've been talking about with the Tech 9. I know I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but Robbie misses an off shot, and rather than re-peek and try to take the pistol out with his op again, he pulls out the Tech 9 and just starts clicking as fast as he can, because he knows that ultimately what's going to happen is that random bullet pattern is going to connect with the head. I mean, the damage from range is too high. The erratic recoil makes it really easy to get random headshots. So he basically is playing that to a T right now, and it's working out wonderfully. I'm not saying that's why they're up, and oh my god, Robbie through the molly, hitting a nice shot on Asim right through Squeaky Door. But again, I can't wait until it's just taken care of. It's like the CZ was originally. It's just totally broken.
Yeah, I completely agree. And almost the fact where the CZ, at least, you could get tons of frags running, don't get me wrong, but I still feel like the Tech 9's a little bit more running accuracy-wise. It's just holding W. You just bring that home. Just hold W and pray for the best. And generally speaking, as long as RNG's on your side, you are good to go. So now we've got a 4v3 here. This is a rifle round for Aftershock. And again, they are bleeding internally. Drone's going to be in upper sight, and he's going to get spotted out, but he gets 2 frags for himself. Finally, though, firing back, it's going to leave Skillet in a 1v2, and he can clutch this. This could be some momentum on their side, but he makes a lot of noise as he's running around in Hut, so Fabian is going to go down. Foblis actually doesn't get the return, at least right away. Down to 4 HP, though, or 5 HP. That nade's going to sail him into oblivion. So Skillet will go down 6-1 the scoreline. DwG, they are bringing this one home.
At this point, does DwG need to do anything for the rest of the half? I mean, they could just sit and spawn and toss their guns back and forth. 6 rounds on the T side of Nuke is very good. Obviously, they want to get as many as they can, because moving into the CT side is just going to be a joke. If they can take 8 rounds on the T side and guarantee a win on the T side of Nuke, it's a cakewalk from that point. Even if Aftershock wins the pistol round, it's just a matter of time before DwG starts chaining rounds together. And, you know, I saw the T side from Aftershock on Nuke, and it didn't really look all that great. So, right now, I'd say DwG is going to take this pretty easily. And I just don't know if that Aftershock is a very good Nuke team, and that's okay. In North America, not many teams are.
It's a rough map. That's what it comes down to. And if you don't like playing a map, it's hard to get creative with strategies if you just don't like a map. So I'm not sure how they feel about it, but I have a feeling that Aftershock, they're probably not a big fan. I don't blame them at all, as we've been talking about it. We're not big fans of Nuke either. So Robbie's going to pick up a kill here in Ramp Room. Skillet and Smelly both down. Means we've got a 5v3, and They're going to be busting out vents as they enter the lower bomb site. You have Todor down here already, control room. And he's going to get one for himself, but drop very low, and there's the trade. So anytime that Aftershock can work a frag, they're able to get one. We've seen them get some aim duels, but the problem is the T side of DwG, they're following up with all of their refrags, and when you're doing that on the T side, it's really difficult on the CT side to prevent. So DwG making it work here. They're up 7-1 on a very CT-sided map. This is, yeah, this is looking bleak. Aftershock does not even have enough money to buy here.
Yeah, this is pretty much already out of control for Aftershock. DwG is just chaining rounds together, and the money is just stacking to the roof. Fabulous at 10K, Fabian at 11K, Robbie at 9K. They all are just very rich, but the Aftershock side just, you know, they're just scraping rounds together. Even when they can buy, it's really tough. They're going to pick up 2 frags here early. Tutor Jesus and Smelly Drone gets one as well. Carbon is there for a trade, as is Fabulous, but now it's all on Fabulous as this round is actually coming together for Aftershock here, looking poised to pick up their second round here in round number 9, and that kind of bum rush towards Hut and Squeaky pays off in dividends right now. So Fabulous, the last man standing on a 1v3. I'm interested to see what he's going to do here. Obviously, he's going to go for it. The money is stacked up pretty high. There's no reason for him not to try it. They do have an AK on Tudor and Drone. Asim's still with the 5.7. He's sitting at 100 HP. There's no kit, though, so if he can somehow manage to scoop up this bomb, he can get the plant, and they would have to retake quickly, but it's not going to happen. Asim holding down a nice angle. They're going to get 3 AKs, actually 2 AKs and an AWP. So pretty successful eco round there for Aftershock, maybe the kind of thing they needed.
Let's see if this is going to cause some momentum swing here. Aftershock, they pick up their first round in a while, but obviously with the economy of the T side, they're able to buy up here once again to Robbie with his AWP in hand, and we've got 8Ks on the rest of the Ts. So we'll see if, again, Aftershock, maybe they can swing things into their favor, but even if they won out this half 8-7, that is a rough scoreline. So DwG, the thing is you play a lot more relaxed when you're this far ahead, and because of that, you can kind of fall into certain grooves that you may not be able to fall into, especially in Aftershock situation where every round, every little moment is so crucial to how the map's going to play out. Where, again, DwG, they found that scoreline already so early in the half that now it's just kind of some relaxed play. Maybe they go for some unorthodox plays that they don't usually go for. And we're going to see Fabulous actually take down Smelly from long range, and that is a duel that Smelly needs to win with an AWP in hand.
Smelly was playing very far back to cover outside, all the way back by CT's spawn, and it just let Fabulous get in a really good position, and then that railing kept him alive for a little while, but Fabulous is able to connect, so it's already a 5v4 here, and Aftershock really needs to pick up this round, or it's going to be back-to-back ecos as their money is going to just go down the toilet. Drone and Asim will probably buy. Smelly might be able to pick up something as well, but it already looks like this could be DwG's round. We saw 2 frags early. Skillet goes down to the AWP of Robbie. Asim is going to pick up 1 in Fabulous and try and even things out. Makes it a 4v3, but here comes the execute towards lower, and Tutor Jesus is going to have to come up big here over by Double Doors. Gets the first one, goes for the peek, gets the second, goes for the third, not able to make it happen. And now it's a 2v2. Robbie and Salmo versus Drone and Asim. Bomb heading towards the lower bomb site. And I believe both these players are upper, so Drone's going to drop into the vents, and here comes the retake from Aftershock.
Yeah, Asim's going to... Oh, he tries to flash his way down ramp, but he bungles that flash a little bit, and now he's got Robbie in his face. He will be able to get the frag, and so does Drone. So they're able to pick up the round. That is actually very important that they do so, as their economy would be in shambles if they drop that round. So now they've got a little bit of money to play with, although 3 of their players are going to have to rebuy. Still, though, DwG, they've got plenty of money on the field. 10K on Fabulous, 10.5 actually. So they'll be able to equip tier once again, and they just continue to keep that pressure on. That was the name of the game for DwG. When they were getting all these rounds, they were getting them in a way that, again, their economy just grew to a point where now they've lost, I believe it's been, 2 in a row, but they're still able to buy and put rifles on the field. So 5 rifles on the field. No AWP. They didn't have quite that much. Actually, Fabulous did have enough for one, but they end up going without, and looks like they're going to have a couple players in lobby. The bomb is down there. Salmo once again working from lobby roof. So is Fabulous, trying to just spam into upper, but nothing as of yet. Actually, Carbon Main goes down to 50 HP here.
This is best case scenario for Aftershock right now because they've been able to chain these rounds together. They've finally built their money up to the point where it should be as the CT side on Nuke. Meanwhile, they're sort of breaking the money on DwG. You can see multiple players sitting pretty low right now, and they're going to pick up 2 frags early here. Fabian finally responding, dropping Smelly, makes it a 4v3. And it looks like the bomb's still sitting in lobby over towards Squeaky Door. I believe that is on Fabian, so they're holding the bomb, just kind of taking their time right now, but they're going to probably execute towards the A bomb site as they do have Salmo pushed up and high. He's going to get spotted out by Tudor Jesus, who comes up with a big frag, makes it a 4v2 right now. Fabian going to get spotted by Tudor as well. Now it's on Fabulous here. Again, the last man standing in a 1v4. Bomb down just inside Squeaky Door, and it looks like Aftershock's going to pick up their 3rd round here. So this, or I should say 3rd round in a row, it's actually their 4th round. This is what they need to do. They need to just start chaining these rounds together, because one of the things that Aftershock was really struggling early on was it wasn't necessarily that they were playing this bad, it was that their money was so broken that even when they could buy, they couldn't afford the proper buy. So they were forcing up to a certain extent, maybe getting a FAMAS or 2, not full nades, no kits, and that just doesn't fly. When you're playing the CT side of Nuke, one of the strongest things you can have in your hand is a smoke grenade or a flashbang. Now that they're able to get those and stack them up as many as they can get, that's helping their cause. So that's why they've been able to pick up 3 in a row now, and they're looking to pick up the 4th as well.
We're going to see an outside play here as Carbon has made it all the way into Secret. Smelly is playing from outside Garage, but Toto actually goes down as Carbon gets aggressive into Secret, and Smelly, he's actually going to get frag onto Fabulous, almost trying to force the aggression into back garage, but doesn't work out, so 4v4, but Robbie will finally take him down, so man advantage here. Carbon main is on 4 HP, and they do have control of Secret at the moment. But the bomb is still out near Silo, and where are they opting to go with this is the question. And slowing the round down a little bit, that's not a bad idea with the man advantage. Asim playing with an AWP in Hell, and Salmo peeks out. He might be able to get this frag, and oh, Asim is just so close. His crosshair, honestly, he's got a really nice position here, but DwG just knows where they're being threatened from, and that's going to be a beautiful pick, though. Asim is going to decide to get a little bit aggressive and peeks out, takes down Robbie. That was the bomb carrier, so he's going to get dropped, though, as they do push some players out to flank, and the bomb has been retrieved. Drone is in upper. He's going to get one. Skillet's coming into Hut here. They drop the bomb carrier. Fabian in 1v2, and he's going to get put down by Drone. And actually, that was a funny kill. He got killed, and he fell right down the vents as he had made it all the way up. But 5-7 the scoreline here. Aftershock looking to win out and making an 8-7 half. But even at that scoreline, we had touched on it already, that is not a preferable scoreline on the CT side of Nuke.
Yeah, well, usually when we talk about Nuke and why we don't like the map in the competitive rotation, it's not because the T side is stacking up rounds. It's the other way around. So it's a little bit interesting the last few times we've watched it that the T side has actually been pretty dominant. So right now, DwG looking very good, but they're going to be moving into this round with a bit of a mix buy. They're going to see 3 Tech 9s on the board, 2 AKs, and some grenade play here. Asim with the AWP on the other side. It's going to have to come up with some big frags right now. They're opting to push towards ramp. They're just sort of hanging out in that smoke, waiting for it to dissipate. So I imagine we're going to see a ramp execute here in just a matter of seconds.
Skillet is going to be holding from this position. Full blind, though, as they flash in. He's going to try and counter flash, and that actually allows him to drop down into lower. So now Drone from Hell. He's going to be waiting for this player to peek around, and Fabian peeks out, and oh, now he's in a really difficult spot as he does actually have Asim to his right. So Drone and Asim cross-firing really well. It's going to be Carbon main, the last one alive, and he's going to fly up into heaven here, but he's got players on all angles, and Asim puts them down from below. So good round there from Aftershock. They just kind of fall back and let the T's aggressively push through, and they fall right into the trap of Asim playing from right outside of Hell, just right outside the doors, whereas Drone fell back into the window room there. So again, really good crossfire from them, and a 6th round on the board for Aftershock. All right, so round 14 underway, and 6-7 the scoreline here. It looks like Smelly's getting aggressive out at T-Red. He's going to spot out that no players actually out here, so we'll see if he can utilize that advantage. Toto actually gets the first frag of the round, and it's going to be Robbie 1 going down. So all of the terrace right now in lobby, and the problem with this is that if they don't get aggressive soon, they might be flanked in some way, shape, or form. And Skillet, you can see, is very close inside of radio room. Smelly hasn't pushed up outside yet. I imagine he's really, really wanted to here. Skillet will be tested, and he doesn't get a single frag for it. Salmo will be able to put him down. 12 HP left on him as they take ramp room, but Asim from over near Hell will get one before going down, and now the ramp real estate all in favor of the T's. Totoro, once again, I'm sure they picked up on this, that every time they come down to lower, he's playing on the stairwell here, but Fabian will be able to get that bomb down in the smoke. They've got two other CTs rotating. They've all grouped up near this control room. We'll see how this works out. Fabian goes down to Totoro, so makes it a 2v3. Salmo, very, very low on HP, and we're going to see Foblis get a nice frag there, but Drone puts down Foblis, and Salmo tries to peek out with an AWP, but Aftershock will be able to pick up their 7th round. And, again, they've been able to put a lot of rounds in a row. We saw round 2 through 8 taken by DwG, but 9 through 14 have been all Aftershock. And now we're into the final round of this first half. And again, we talked about it, Aftershock, even if they won out from the position where I think it was about 7-4, 7-3, when we were talking about this, 8-7 is still a really bleak scoreline on that CT side. DwG is going to be feeling good, but again, anything can happen. We could see Aftershock switch over to that T side, pick up pistol, and then the momentum in their favor. But see a very quick outside play. All four, or I say all four, I mean 4 of the T's. Salmo gets a pick early. Asim will be able to fire back onto him, though, so a trade comes in. Asim down to 15 HP, though. So very, very lit. And Robbie's still trying to get, I think he was trying to work Twinkie. He was trying to get the jump himself, but wasn't able to make it happen. So a little bit awkward, but luckily they didn't need him there. Totoro's going to get naded down to 58 HP as he plays inside a control room stairs, but they have smoked off Secret, hence why we don't see the T's kind of aggressing any further. They're just holding this real estate near outer, and we do see Asim go down as, again, he was very, very lit. So a 4v3 here as Drone is peeking through from rafters into mini. They get aggressive in there. He's holding a nice angle, but looks like we're just going to see a lower play and a great nade there as Totoro goes down.
Yeah, now it's on Drone and Skillet here, trying to end this with the lead at half. Obviously, that's ideal. It's not looking like it's going to happen now. Drone has come up with a lot of big frags this half, multiple 3Ks, but now it's on him, a 1v4, and almost everyone's at full HP. Foblis down to 90, but everyone else looking pretty good. He's going to wrap around from ramp here. He gets a good angle, but not going to find a shot. So DwG takes the half 8-7 from the T side on Nuke. So like we'd said, normally we talk about how broken this map is because it's so CT-sided. It's the caster's curse here showing itself once again. DwG takes 8 rounds. Now, it's important to note, though, this could have been much worse for Aftershock.
Yeah, certainly. It definitely could. But second pistol round underway here. It's going to be 7-8 scoreline. DwG, they'll win the half, but technically speaking, we usually say that a T side has won the half, even if they haven't, if the numbers aren't in their favor, but they still pick up 4 or 5. That's still winning the half, I feel, for a T side on Nuke. So the fact that they actually got more rounds than the CTs, that's a beautiful spot for them. So again, pistol round number 2 underway, and no kit on the CT side. They're opting to go for the frags here, and it's going to be Foblis and Salmo with armor. The rest of the players, though, with some utility. Carbon Main with that oh-so-powerful 5-7. And from the T side, looks like Aftershock is going for some sort of outer take. They've got Asim inside of lobby, now heading over towards ramp room, and he's going to be flashing out there, so trying to pull some attention, but we do see that it is going to be 4 of the T's, and they're going to be decoying on top of lobby. I'm not going to lie, I haven't seen a decoy strat in quite a while here. So Drone's going to pick up 1. Foblis, though, gets 2. Drone with the second, but this is falling apart as Asim, the last one here. He does take down Fabian, but Carbon will put the round away. So that is the pistol round Aftershock desperately needed, but DwG, they're going to pick it up here.
That was probably one of the more unique strategies I've seen with decoy grenades.
Yep.
So if you guys watching couldn't pick up on what just happened, they put one player on ramp, and I think that was actually their own smoke. And then they smoked it and tossed decoys onto the roof of, like, ramp area, right on top of the big Hearts roof over there. So it looked like they were executing a push on the ramp. So it was supposed to pull the CTs off of outside so they can make it away cleanly. It didn't really work, but it was a great idea, and it could have been an amazing play had it panned out. This round, though, we're going to see Robbie 1 take down Tutor Jesus with the scout outside. Fabulous with the P90 gets one, traded out immediately by that Tech 9 pistol. Asim gets one as well. Salmo is down, but Carbon Main trying to even things up with his machine pistol. Asim gets another kill, actually, on Fabian. Makes it a 2v2, so it's going to be Carbon and Robbie versus Smelly and Asim. If both of those players have found guns, Asim gets Carbon Main, and now it's on Robbie with the Scout. And this is one of those guns that I don't necessarily suggest buying in round 2 after picking a pistol, because it's very easy to get bombarded by a rush from pistols, and if they can find a rifle or an SMG, I mean, it's not the best gun to have in hand. He's going to find the frag here on Asim, make it a 1v1, but Smelly in really good position. Going to catch a nade, and oh my god, the touchdown nade from Robbie 1. He throws it with such confidence, like, I know this is going to kill him. I'll just stick the defuse.
What? 85 damage nade we're seeing in chat. Wow, what a way to retake site. He peeks his head into Mini, tears off the head of one of the players, and then as he's running in, just the fadeaway nade up into heaven. He's like, oh yeah, I got this. And just goes for the defuse. Easy peasy. That's going to be DwG. What a clutch there, as that round was looking like it was all Aftershock, and they're going to be pretty... I can't imagine the morale on Aftershock is very good after that. They were so close to picking up that second round, and again, on this T side, if you get close to getting those rounds, you need to close them out, and they were oh so close in that 1v2, and we were even talking about it, the Scout, probably the worst weapon he could have trying to retake in that 1v2, but clearly he only needed it for one of the frags, and now here we are, round 18. It's going to be another rifle round, obviously, for our CT side. Samuel's going to get one as they try and push into ramp room here. Asim will take down one. Todor onto Salmo, and actually Robbie goes down, so now a 2v1 as Todor, he's got the bomb, he's in a ramp room, but where does he go with it?
He's going to be able to pick up an AK, or actually not an AK. He's going to be able to pick up a FAMAS or maybe an AWP. Looks like he's going to try and find that AWP. He does find a P90 first, goes for the AWP. He's being held down on upper and lower as Carbon Main right now holding down ladder room, sitting in heaven, just peeking towards hell, waiting for him to push. And then the other player for the CT's, Fabulous, is in Toxic. So that's a big play. Right now, if Tudor wants to win this round, he has to execute quickly, but I don't think that's his plan. I think his plan is just keep the AWP. Does look like he's going to make a play towards lower, and I kind of advise against this right now. There's only 12 seconds left. Would be really hard to plant the bomb. He's basically got to stick it, and he's unable to really do anything to defend himself. So he's going to go for the plant. He's going to get taken down. He's going to lose that AWP and give it back to DwG. I kind of wish he didn't do that. If that were me, I maybe would have made a play towards Hut or Squeaky Door. Obviously, we know more than he does, though. Still, when you have an AWP and there's only 20 seconds left on an eco round, you got to look at that as a win. They picked up, 3 frags. They found an AWP. Just take the AWP and call it a day. Instead, though, DwG picks up the round. Now 11-7 on the CT side of Nuke, and you're going to see a buy up here from Aftershock. We'll see if it works, because right now DwG is looking very good.
Fabian has a Nova. I'm really excited about this. I don't remember who it was, but there was someone with the Nova, and they named it Betty. I can't remember who it was, but I was so excited about that play when they brought it out. Oh, I'm struggling right now.
It was on Inferno.
Yeah, I just can't remember, but Betty came up big there. We'll see if Fabian has not named his. He's actually rocking the default Nova. Doesn't even have a skin on it, so round 19 here. Fabulous. What was Tudor doing there? I don't know if you saw that, but Fabulous just walked up to Hut, and he's like, hello, is there anybody in there? And Tudor kind of like spun for a second, and then he got headshot and he died. That was the extent of the play that was just made. I'm a little confused, but it is going to be an upper play here as they're going to try and push their way onto site. Drone and Skillet both pick up frags, so it's a good entry. And Fabian's going to come up into heaven, and Drone gets both those frags, so DwG needs to be a little bit careful here. They can't get too confident, but obviously they do have a big advantage. 1v3 though, Robbie is going to try and make something happen here. He's trying to find that headshot as he did see Drone kind of moving around near Silo, but now he will spot the player again. Smelly, though, very close here, and Robbie looks like he's just going to fall back and save this rifle and maybe making a decision that will benefit his team, whereas we saw in the last round the opposite for Aftershock. They chose to just go for it, so we're going to see here. What a shot! Robbie puts one onto Skillet as he's running out of Squeaky, and that's going to mean Drone is going to be the only one alive. They're going to win the round, but very expensive on their side.
It's actually an expensive round for both teams, because now DwG, they're probably going to pick up one rifle. I'd imagine Fabless buys a rifle and the remaining players buy pistols. Based on the money, that makes the most sense, so they can kind of get that split buy, where if they can pick up a rifle or two, they can make it last. At least that's what I would do. I would pick up one rifle and then get pistols across the board, but it's not what they're going to choose to do. They're going to try and ride the strength of Robbie's op, and it looked really good in the last round. On the other side, though, Aftershock, 5 AKs, full armor, so they're going to be looking pretty good right now for this round. And look at this push right now. Salmo aggressively pushes towards Hut. It's not going to come up with anything. We are going to see Skillet take down Asim, though, so a little bit of team damage done, but not the end of the world after they changed the punishment for team damage and team kills. It's not necessarily the worst thing that could happen. So now it's on Carbon and Robbie in a 2v4, and my guess is that Robbie's basically going to just sit back, and if Carbon can get a frag or two, maybe choose to go towards it, but he's probably going to try and just save that op right now. It's a pretty unwinnable situation. They don't have a kit. Carbon with no armor. It would be very hard to pull this off.
Yeah, and Tudor is actually going to find Robbie, as Robbie whiffed a couple shots there. And both the CTs go down, so Aftershock, they are not done with this map. They do not want to drop out again. This is a best-of-1 format because we're in the lower bracket. Both these teams have lost in a best-of-3 format to find themselves here. So definitely, both teams, they're fighting for survival, their tournament life on the line. Both teams obviously want to make it through the lower bracket and find their way back in the grand finals, but we'll see here. Only one team can make it, and right now DwG has a 2-round advantage on the CT side. That being said, Aftershock with 2 rounds on the T side, not too bad here, but they do have to continue this pressure. They can't make any mistakes, as again, DwG just has a lot more of an easier time being on the CT side. So minute 15 left on the clock here. We've got Asim working towards ramp, but that's the only player inside the lobby. The rest of them are heading towards secret, and Robbie's going to spot them out. Falls back as he is probably terrified. He's got a number of T's on his heels, and they're just going to force the issue way down inside of this lower bomb site. We'll see if it works out for them. Robbie close around this corner. He's going to get in a firefight here, and Asim goes down. Skilled as well. The trade, though, Salmo drops down and vents. And it's only Tudor and Drone left. Tudor gets a nice shot as he jumps up into the vents, and we're going to see Carbon drop Drone, though. A 1v3. Tudor from vents. He's holding a nice angle, but this is going to be really rough for him.
Yeah, he's got a very difficult situation. He's going to spin out Fabless. Look at this peekaboo play he's got with Fabless right now. He's just waiting for Fabless to come down. And that's so interesting that Fabless didn't see his head poke up. Looks like he's going to go for the peek now. He's going to get spotted. The barrel kind of pokes through. Yep. You can see it, so maybe he's not really thinking about that, trying to catch him off guard. I still think his best play was to stay in vents at that point and try and pick off some of those players on ramp. The big player there was Robbie. They spotted him out. They knew where he was, and he holds that angle on the door with the FAMAS and just spams it. Somehow doesn't get taken down, even gets one with the USP, so that was a big play. It stopped the push, gave the CTs time to rotate, and by the time they got out, they had lost multiple players. So that was a clutch play from him there. Even though he didn't necessarily come up with a lot of frags, he did what needed to be done. So DwG now 12-9, sort of hurting the economy of Aftershock after they came off the heels of that victory.
Yeah, definitely. Money actually on both sides very low. So this round's going to determine just kind of how the next round especially turns out in terms of monetary situation. Drone's going to get dropped down to 8 HP. Asim on 63 as they're both going to get in firefights around ramp and lobby. But they got a minute to play with here. There is a smoke preventing their pressure on ramp room. Fabian's waiting, though. He's going to be the one man holding at ramp, but Carbon actually coming around here, so they are going to have multiple people. Carbon actually counter-flashing. That's going to be a great one, as now they come out and they're half blind, and that's going to mean that Carbon gets 2 easy frags. Robbie with 1, as Tudor and Smelly left alive. Tudor gets a nice spray onto one, but Carbon there for the refrag. Smelly in a 1v4 gets dropped by Fabian. So they tried to work that ramp play, but Carbon I think he's the player of the round, as he just counter flashes, and they still push out as they're a little bit blind, and through the edge of that smoke, he grabs those frags, and things just fall apart at the seams from there.
Tech 9 armor. Here it comes.
Let's see it.
Let's see. Is it going to be a Tech 9 armor?
Oh, we got one. We got one. Can we get a second? Can we get a number 2 here? No. Okay.
That's actually surprising. The fact that
I'm actually really surprised. I'm really
I mean,
surprised.
they go for the 4 P250s, no armor on them. Tudor's going to pick up the Tech 9 and armor. And like maybe it's just personal preference and they like the P250 more, or maybe it's because their money just wasn't good enough to justify the armor as well. But they're going to be picking up that one Tech 9, and he's sitting over towards Squeaky right now, getting kind of tapped and played with by Salmo. Still no definite direction by Aftershock right now. Asim's going to get dropped by Carbon Main over towards Ramp. Flash and Molly's going to rain out towards Radio Room. So that might put some damage down on Skillet and Tudor Jesus, who are over in that direction. Tudor takes another nade down to 82. He is the man with the Tech 9 in hand. So right now some aggression from DwG on Ramp. He's going to spot out the Tech 9 of Tudor as he comes around the corner through that smoke. So now kind of the jig is up here. They're going to get pinched in by these players from Hut and Squeaky Door. And it's just a matter of time before these players get spotted out. The pinch is on. 45 seconds left on the round. Aftershock trying to make something happen here. It's going to push out of Hut. And they're going to get that man in sight. That's Fabulous. Fabian and upper takes down Tudor Jesus, though. Samo there to drop Skillet. So now it's Smelly and Drone here. A 2v4. And Robbie1 gets the collateral, dropping it on the bench. A perfect place for that to happen. The 2-for-1 special is real. Robbie1 picking up an awesome alt frag.
Yeah, I think he's going to be pretty stoked about that one. That was a nice shot as they lined up in vent for him, and now 14 rounds on DwG. They're 1 round away from match point here, and Aftershock, what do? They've got 5 rifles on the board, but it comes down to this here. After they drop this round, they're fighting for overtime, and that's not the position they want to find themselves in, especially because in overtime format, they would start again on this T side. So Asim's actually going to pick up 2 big frags as they take upper. Robbie pushes through the smoke. Maybe not the best play there, but Carbon Main still alive. He's flanked all the way through to Hut. Fabian will be working from Mini here. So Fabian completely smoked off. He's going to dissipate in a moment here, though, and shot rings out as he's going to eat some damage. It's all up to Carbon Main. He does take down 1. We'll see how much damage he can do here. Gets dropped by Asim. That was a big play by Asim. He cleared that site pretty much single-handedly with 2 frags as they entered in and made room for that upper take. So 10 rounds for Aftershock. Like I said, they are not done and over with. And if they could pick up another round here, they could be putting DwG on the Nico.
Yeah, they could potentially take, 11 and then get the eco round, go towards 12. It's a scary scoreline. The second you see the CTs hit 14, you know you're against the clock, you're against the wall. You need to make things happen. And Aftershock was able to do it there. We'll see if they're going to be able to do it again as they up to take a quick A play again. And that just gets obliterated.
Oh, wow.
Fabulous coming up big, stopping all 4 players right now. Fabulous with 3 of them himself. This last player in Hut Drone's going to have to go massive and get the ace if he wants to pull his team out of this round right now. He picks off the 1. That's Fabulous off the board, but he's getting pinched here by Robbie from the ramp room, and now that's 15 rounds for DwG, and on the opposite side, the money for Aftershock. So that was one of those swing rounds where if Aftershock wins, eco for DwG. Instead, DwG wins, it's going to be an eco for Aftershock. Now we're going to see this the Tech 9 armor buy. You're going to see Drone pick up an AK as he had the money, but at this point, you got no options left, so it's not about money, it's about round count. Hopefully they can pick up round 11 and start fighting back. I'd love to see overtime, but DwG looks poised to take this here in round number 26.
Yeah, and I actually didn't notice, but Skillet, he's only got 5 frags and 5 assists, whereas the rest of his team, they're at least in the teens, some in the 20s. So Skillet needs to wake up here if they want to make this go to overtime. Carbon Main takes the one and only Skillet down first, though, and Asim goes down. This is falling apart. This is the round where DwG, they want to put this away, and I don't blame them. They do not want to let Aftershock breathe in this match any longer. They want to end it here and now, and we're going to see a little bit of a slowdown in the round. Todor takes down Fabian, so Carbon Main down to 12 HP as well. He's holding close around Vents, but he does have backup in Salmo here, but they don't actually choose to switch positions, so if they move down into Secret, they might be able to get a pick onto him, but they're actually opting to keep going outside, and they're heading over to Hell, and where do they go from there? Do they go up into Heaven and try some sort of upper take, or do they go back to Ramp Room? The problem is they've only got 30 seconds to make a decision.
If I'm doing this, I'm going up ladder right now, and I'm just going to try and take the player out in the A bomb site. Carbon remain down to 12 HP, but it looks like Fabless is rotating back over towards ladder, and that's the wise play. Smelly's going to creep right up into this player. Nice flash out, but it's not going to really buy them much here. He's going to get gunned down. Fabless traded out by Drone. And there goes Carbon Vein as well. Tutor Jesus is able to pick off Samo after he takes down Drone. Makes it a 1v1. So Tutor is going to have plenty of time to defuse or plant the bomb here. 2 seconds left to spare. Robbie with an op in main tries to hit that shot, and oh my God, Tutor hits that shot with the AK, taking down the op of Robbie, who has been playing lights out. I mean, this game has basically been just a reel for Robbie right now. So Aftershock backs against the wall, facing certain death, picking up round 11, trying to fight for that overtime.
And they always say that fighter is always the most dangerous when they're back against the wall. You really do see a lot of really, really good play when someone's in a desperate situation like that. So they make it happen there. Tudor very, very low. But, he's going to be able to pick up the round. Fabless, though, getting aggressive in this round. Asim won't be able to drop Robbie, and it is a kind of a half buy here. Samo does have an AK now, but it was an armor pistol buy from the CT side. 4v4 here, and just going back to that last round, I feel like Fabless, it's kind of the reason that they were able to take upper, is he was playing from upper in the rafters. He saw that flashbang come up, but I think he just kind of took it as, oh, they don't realize I'm staring right at them, and this is going to be an easy play for me as he turns back around. But then 2 just like appear out of nowhere, and he's able to get 1, but wasn't able to get the second, and that's where things started working for the T's. So Aftershock, again, 11 on 11 rounds. They're fighting for overtime. They need 4 to do it. They've got an opportunity in less equipped DwG in this round, but 40 seconds left on the clock. They haven't really committed to very much, and don't know where they're going to go. I imagine we might see an upper play considering most of the T's hovering around lobby.
It does look like they're going to be beginning the execute here. We're going to see smokes and flashes rain out outside right now. They're going to smoke off main. They're going to actually push right through the smoke. Skillet's going to take down Samo in sight, and that's going to open things up here. Fabian comes up big and takes down Skillet, though. 15 seconds left on the clock. They can't can't afford to lose players here. Smelly gets a nade kill on Fabian, takes down Fabless as well. So now it's a 2v1. Carbon main in garage there, in main garage, trying to take out Smelly, who's over towards hut. Flashes rain out, trying to blind this player. They actually don't really do a whole lot. Carbon main's still at 100 HP. Aftershock playing this so carefully, not giving him anything, as he does have a rifle now, Galil in hand. Clock is ticking, though. No kit on Carbon. He's going to have to push here. Tries to spot out Smelly, not able to find the frag. Asim takes him down, so that's the 12th round for Aftershock. They've got to be happy with the way that this game is going, even though they're losing. I mean, obviously they're down 15-12, but they started out down 7-1. So the fact that it's even 15-12 at this point has got to feel pretty good. Still, though, they want to take this to overtime. They're building up a lot of momentum on the T side right now, and DwG is sort of starting to sputter out. They're not necessarily looking like the same team we saw in the first half, and this is exactly what happened in the first half. DwG started strong, then kind of faded out. And it's happening again here in the second half. Right now they're going to be executing a push, though, so we'll see what happens here. They are able to pick up 1 early.
Oh, wow, and yeah, Smelly is going to be able to drop 2 here, but some damage done as they still have some CTs working aggressively towards them. We've got Fabian still inside a Squeaky. He's going to eat that nade, goes down to 20 HP here, but Asim already down in the lower bomb site. Smelly has the bomb on his back. He's fairly lit. Drone on 5 HP. So if the CTs can find him here, and Samo actually almost does, just needs to land 1 body shot to put him away. With the deagle, that's even a little bit overkill, so we'll see what develops here. Asim, though, has made it all the way around into hell, and he's not going to go up into heaven, although he might be able to work something from there. He's actually opting to... No, he is going to head back. So, again, the bomb is right outside in main. Smelly gets latered by Salmo. And again, Drone on 5 HP. Asim has to come up huge, and he's going to get Salmo, so that's a big pick off. They're going to try and work this site here, but we're going to see Fabless. Can he get the frag here? Asim down to 10 HP. And we've got 2. This is so close. Look at the HP mark. That nade's going to put Fabian away. So great play there from Asim. Drone picks up Fabless. And that round could have gone either way with those HP counts.
Skin of their teeth. My God, all of those players were lit. I mean, it's amazing that that round lasted as long as it did, considering the HP counts across the board. I don't think there was 100 HP between all 4 players combined, so that was a very close round. Aftershock squeaks away with it, picks up round 13 here. They're going to be facing a full buy from DwG. If they can win this, they can break the money, and then they could be facing a very weak buy from DwG and potentially take us to overtime, which would be unreal considering the way this game started. Aftershock definitely picking up steam right now, but this is the round they need to put together. If they lose this, obviously that's game over, but they can't even have a close round. They need to obliterate DwG, break that money, and give themselves the easy win in round 30 to take it to OT.
Aftershock playing this round very slow. They know what's on the line right now, and we'll see if it affects their gameplay at all. Todor is going to be scoping out into outer as he thinks he's got a read on the play, and actually, I don't know how he has this information. He must have spotted Robbie cross there, as Robbie is going to be inside of Garage, and they're going to be firing some shots at him. He chooses to pre-fire, and he takes off the head of Smelly. Skillet will be able to trade, though. Fabian now in locker room here. He's going to hear some players coming in, and we're going to see Drone just a little bit of careless play there. Asim, though, will open up this A bomb site as the bomb should be able to be planted upper. It is a 3v3 here, so they're able to secure the bomb site, but with Asim down, this is a man advantage for the CTs. The bomb has been planted, so we'll see what happens, but Skillet is going to get full blind. Carbon, though, very blind as well. Tudor is just going to push out, gets the no-scope. It's a 2v2 here. Fabian sending a nade into Hut, doesn't do any damage. Can he drop Tudor? He will. So it's all on Skillet, and it's not going to be so. Skillet, you had one job. He has 7 frags. He needed to clutch the round, and it doesn't happen. Aftershock drops the match 16-13. DwG will be moving forward in our lower bracket, but Aftershock, they are going to be bowing out here.
You know, they can't really be too mad at themselves. The way they